Well, at least the battle has ended, but the war is not over yet. But we at least get some implication about some hope. The title of this chapter was extremely misleading. It wasn't a single answer at all about this, but I guess the chapter title answers is more like why can't my wings grow and why can't I dance and why am I supposed to become the holy knight substitute? I guess that's the kind of questions. Hi for those who are watching, it's the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer, to bringing the Nanatsu no Taizai 7 Deadly Sins chapter 197. Well, first of all, we see Hauser's family. I thought there was some implications that his family were deceased, but no, they were not. And also, his father's design is basically a rehash of Barta, but I'm not a writer, so I don't complain if someone uses the same design. He and his father, well, they have some kind of weird relationship. It's the thing that his father seems displeased that about Hauser's personality, and even more so that the fact that how could he become a holy knight, and also the fact that Hauser seems to enjoy putting his hand in a pompadour, and he also apparently was so. His father was so very laid back that they were invaded by demons. So he kicks him out of the house for Hauser to go back to the town to rebuild the castle. So yeah, they have a pretty fun relationship. We see his mother, but ironically the same thing as we saw with Grimoire's mother. We don't see her face, but she seems to be a bit plummy. And Merlin have kind of restored the town and the castle, but according to her, it's not all of the destruction. And she is taking a bath, reading a book, and of course Escanor is her servant, giving her a massage and on both her neck and in her legs. Every guy's dreams come true. But she does says to us that she cannot meddle with the hearts of those in suffering, nor revive those in dead. But she does confirm one thing for us, and that is that Seldris is not dead. At least he is the one commandant that is not dead. For the people that was stricken with the commandment of charity, not charity. Well, either way, Seldris' commandment will become mind slaves of the Demon King. They are currently heading for Camelot, which seems to be the demon stronghold, confirming that since the commandments will only end if a commandment died, meaning that, yeah, the Seldris is alive. And the fact that she says that the war, the chaos, have only begun, but the first battle was their win. Elsewhere, Ban finally greets Meliodas in a little bit playful manner, and they both have greets and apologizes. But when Ban suddenly mocks his captain about always worrying others, Meliodas sends him into the wall. So even though it seems that Meliodas still holds the kindness towards his friends, he's still a little bit rough around the edges. As Escanor gives us a good poem, it's he also explained it a little bit. But for that, and the king Barta had gathered all of his troops in order to find a new, nominate a new great holy knight. For even though this battle is over, they need the power of a new one even more. It's also worth noting that they have a picture that very well shows a goddess, even though the goddess failed them. And the one they nominate is Hauser, because, well, Slater is someone from the shadows, and the two Dreyfus and Hendrickson still have sins on their bodies, so he nominates Hauser. And even though that's pretty funny, it's also worth noting that As you all recall, when Gil were selfishly trying to avenge Meliodas' death, even though he was highly outclassed, it was Hauser who told him to snap out of it and think of the situation here. We need to protect the king, meaning that he protected his friends and his comrades all this time. And it's very true. As I said before, of all the Holy Knights I like most, I like Hauser the most because, well, he is even though he had a little crush on Diana, he was very kind in that way, and that is actually strangely why I feel like he will be the first to die, which is very sad. But he, in the inspiration, but he still is wet behind the ears, so this is only a substitute acting captain. And while the people do praise him, they at the same time mock him, especially his hair. But he swears from every strength in his body he will fulfill it. And finally, they and not finally direct, but they decide, but the Sins will gather the rest of their members, and they free Gowther, who is revealed to have been imprisoned. And even though he seems to talk, they imprison him because of the suspicion that he was an ally of the Ten Commandments. But as soon as they free him and he begins to walk away, he suddenly says, "I am the Ten Commandments, selfishness, Gowther," and says something like Hupin. So does that mean that Gowther has indeed... I mean, Fraudin did say, kill him and the commandment will go back to Gowther. So now, will he kill Deaf Pierce and that other short guy, Wayner, and return to the demon comrades? Or is anything else? I don't know. He's always creeping up. And for the first time in a very long while, we see King and Diana. Turned out that King returned to his fairy kingdom, protecting the people, while Diana, well, she became a dancer. And ironically, they meet naked in a lake, where King is cursing himself for something like, "Why won't it grow for me?" So my question is, grow what? The fact that he was naked and looked down, people cannot help but feeling, what is that? But I have one. I think it's his wings. Or at least the trees. After all, we still haven't gotten the answer on why do King and his sister not have wings. And Diana, well, she's so sexy that we see her naked, although she covers up her breasts, not her vagina, but it's a baby doll, so we do not really see much about that anyway. But she is reacting badly that she cannot get the dance right. So the two former people that once were in love do meet again. This next chapter is called The Giant and the Fairy. So will some mysterious thing happen? Who knows? But as I said before, where were Gloxnia and Dolor? And now that we finally see the giant and the fairy of the seven deadly sins, we may very well get them back. So we have confirmation that at least 3 Ten Commandments are alive: Seldris, Dolor, and Gloxnia. And it's very likely that Moonspit and Derere are also alive. I wonder though if Estarosa is alive. It wouldn't surprise me if he is dead. After all, we saw all of his powers. But we'll see. The demons have taken over Camelot, and Arthur needs to get stronger, but he's still not on the side of Leonis. I mean, he owes Sparta a lot, but he doesn't seem to be there. So all in all, a solid chapter. It was kind of heartwarming to see the people voting for Hauser, even though they mocked him. It was also sexy to see Diana's naked form and Merlin taking a bath. It was also funny to see Hauser's family at last. But the despair is, have now Gowther become a Ten Commandment? And what will happen now? They will try, the 7 deadly sins will try to gather up again, but Diana still has lost her memories, right? And King, well, Given to the fact how Meliodas came back, I have a feeling he is gonna trust Meliodas even less. So give me your thoughts if you have any.